trauma is a huge disconnect. And
Oh,
to heal
totally.
from it, we need a fundamental connection. And I've been, I've had an incredible life and I feel so blessed. I feel like I'm still here for a reason. I had two suicide attempts, the husband who tried to kill me, other abuses, and but for, what I call earth angels, including my friends and just random people, who show
Hmm.
you that there's humanity out there. Um, they have believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. They deflate me when I'm super crazed and they inflate me when I'm
Yeah.
sad. And, we all need that, whether it's friends or family or animals or nature or an
Yeah.
inspirational book. Like, we need that. And I think that, I had always been looking for love and intimacy and support in
Hmm.
romantic relationships. And I think that, especially those of us who have been through trauma, we need to expand our conception of intimacy to realize that, there are good people out there, but those of us who are traumatized, we're so used to the familiar that we tend to repeat the same
Correct.
patterns and the same relationships. And, a lot of people will get jaded and think all people are bad, or, all men are
Yeah.
bad or whatever. And it's, like
Right.
I have the best male friends and my brothers and, people who are just shining examples of love. And so we have to realize that we're accountable, as Carl Jung says, who is like a huge hero of mine. We're not what happened to us, we are what we've become. And when we're traumatized, if we aren't healing, we're always filtering everything, through our misperceptions, if you will.
Right.
And that
Right.
can lead to bad relationships, undesirable behavior, etc.
Yeah, you're hitting on so many notes on that. That's so true. It's it definitely changes our perception. I talk about, our trauma, our unhealed trauma puts
Yes.
filters over our
Mm-hmm.
eyes, and that's the way we see the world. And that's something that, people who are with people like us, that, I'll call them the normal people, I guess, or whatever, the untraumatized people. That's one thing they need to understand. And my husband and I had a conversation the other night. It was interesting. We were watching something on TV, and there was a lady on there, and she was sharing her story. And she said this. I don't remember what it was she said, but I remember when she said it, and my husband went, I knew why she said it. I got it right
Yeah.
away. I actually expected that answer to come out of her mouth, or that statement. And I paused at him and I said, hang on a second. I said, I want to explain something to you. And then I explained it to him. He's like, wow, I didn't even see that at all. And it was this woman that was in a narcissistic relationship. She was the empath. He was a narcissist. And just her mindset was still in that place of a lot of unhealed trauma. And so the
Mm-hmm.
stuff coming out of her mouth, like I totally understood exactly where she was coming from. But my husband's like, ugh, I don't get it. But then when I explained it to him, he goes, that makes sense, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
that's the thing that's so hard.
I don't think that a lot of people understand the trauma psyche. And, one of the reasons why, I'm a complete introvert. And the only reason why, like, I wrote the memoir and I'm speaking about this stuff is because I really do want people, to understand that they're not alone. And I always say that healing doesn't happen in silence or solitude. And not only for the people who have been through the trauma, but those who love us, who are trying to
Yeah.
help, they don't understand
Yeah.
the trauma psyche. And your brain at the most formative years, especially if you've had childhood trauma,
Mm.
literally, functionally, and structurally has changed.
Yes.
And you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to rewire your brain. And,
Yes.
when you're in survival mode, you're acting from a space that, nothing matters but survival. And the
Right.
things that served us as children no longer serve us as adults. And if we don't get that
Correct.
awareness, and that insight, we're just going to continue to have those habits that don't serve us or the people, we love and who love us.